And what happened? I'm loving this. We could say fall is a state of mind. It's book 3, and I've just now, I think, been able to distinguish the twins from one another. Hello, bookish friends. Welcome to another reading vlog. I have been thinking very hard about what kind of reading vlog I want to do next, because I feel like my reading is all over the place at the moment. University has started again, and I don't have very much time. If you've seen my TBR jar picks, my TBR for November video, you'll know that I not only have Nevernight on my TBR for November, but also Mistborn, book 1. And because I feel like those are very high fantasy books, I'm not sure, like, if that's the reason. Like, I feel I want to read, just mood read anything and not stick to a rigid TBR, and also like not stick to my November TBR, at least for this video. So we're going to mood read my TBR. This is the most fun, I think, TBR takedown version, because I just get to read whatever the hell I want, and that will be so exciting. And I already know which one I'll pick. It is on my November TBR. If you've seen my video, you know this. I haven't read Metal Slinger yet. No idea. If you have seen anything circulating about this book, you know that it's supposed to have like a giant plot twist at the end, like a very plot twisty book. And I have no idea what to think of that. I have no idea if I'll be able to guess the plot twist in this book. Probably not, but I'll try. And we'll see if that works. If there's something off about my face, I like literally just cut my bangs with regular scissors because they were annoying me because they got too long. So if they look weird and terrible, I'm sorry, just ignore that. I will probably get an appointment sometime in the future to fix them, because I'm not a hairdresser. I have no idea how to cut bangs. Anyway, I'm so excited to start with this book, and I have no idea what I'll read next. But I feel like this week is going to be incredibly fun. And yeah, I think I'll just jump right ahead and start reading Metal Slinger. Okay, I have some thoughts. I'm not loving it. I'm not loving it. I don't know what it is. If it's the writing style or just I'm just a little bored. I'm not very far into this book, I have to admit. I think I'm like 60 pages in. That is not a lot to decide. And I'm hoping it comes around, because as of right now, I really am not loving it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I expected something else. I think the issue with some book talk books is that you have such high expectations and you get like little snippets of the plot here and there, and people are just talking about the books. And for some reason, I think that has like altered my expectations of this book, and also skyrocketed them a little bit. And I don't know, I'm not loving it as much as I thought I would. I don't think it's the writing style. I mean, it's not the best writing style ever, I have to say. And I did find a few typos already, which maybe I'm a little bit too critical. But this is a Fairy Loot special edition, and there's typos in this. Why? Why didn't anyone check the book again before being published? It's weird to me. I think it was 2 or 3. as I said, the writing style, it's not bad by any means. I don't hate the book. I am just not loving it as much as I thought I would. If I had to rate it right now, which would be insane because 60 pages I don't think is enough to rate a book, but it would sit at 3 stars. It's really nothing special to me. And I feel like it's maybe one of the reasons that I'm not liking this book as much right now is that I think it's very slow in the beginning. This is a book that I picked for the romance aspect, like the romantasy, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for something to happen. I'm waiting for the guy to come and for something to actually happen in this book that drives the plot forward. Maybe I also am very impatient and I don't have the patience for this right now. But I will get more into this and we'll see if it gets better, if it can hook me. I really hope it does. I really hope it does hook me, because outwardly that seems like a book for me. And I would be very disappointed if I didn't like this book, because many people that I trust liked this book. Yeah, I'm hoping it comes around. It will. I'm saying it will come around. Manifesting that this book comes around. So it will come around. I will go back and do some more reading. I have a little bit more time today. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm just sitting here so you can get some different views and not me sitting in the same spot every video, every clip, because I did that in some other reading vlogs and I feel like this is more interesting. So yeah, I got more into this book. Like not much, but like 160 pages. Like this is 100 pages more. And what happened? I'm loving this now. What happened? So I'm not sure how much I can say, but they're on a boat and it's just them. And I love that. I love it when two people, especially if it's our two main characters and they're supposed to be falling in love and stuff. I love it when they're like forced proximity. They can't leave the boat, obviously. I have such a soft spot for like forced proximity travel kind of stories. I read a few of them this year and all of them were really great for me. Although I feel like obviously they're not going to be staying on the boat the entire book. That would be probably too much and a little boring. I'm loving this. I love their dynamic. I love their characters together, which goes a long way in a romantasy book. Yeah, so 160 pages in, that means I have about 400 pages to go, which is a lot. And we'll see what I think of the rest of it. I'm really excited, so I'll get back to you. I am now on page 300, which is like just a little over halfway still. I'm sorry if this is too many check-ins for one book, but I don't have much to say. I just want to say again how much I'm loving it. And also we got to meet a few new characters, which I'm really loving. And my brain is still like trying to think of what the plot twist will be. And I have no idea if I'll be able to guess it. I actually think I might not guess it because I have no idea what it could be. Everything I thought would maybe be the big reveal, I guessed, but then it was also revealed in the middle of the book. And also there were a few plot twists in this book already that I did not think would happen. If you can see this, there's like butterflies all over this naked hardcover, and there's been nothing about butterflies yet. And did you see the cover reveal for the second book, Lightwielder? It just got released by Fairy Loot, and like the dates when you can pre-order it, and I'm thinking of doing it, but there's butterflies on that book as well, and I want to know what all of that is about. So I will continue reading. I don't have very many things to say, I'm sorry. I just wanted to check in and tell you that I'm loving this so far. So it really picked up after the first 60, 80 pages. And I'm so glad that it did. I'm now just 40 pages before the end of Metal Slinger, and I thought, because of the big plot twist, and I actually have no idea what's going to happen, I thought it would be fun to like try and capture my honest reaction when it happens. I do have like an idea of what could happen, but nothing concrete at all. So we'll see. There is 3 grammatical errors in 1 page. This is a Fairy Loot special edition. This is like the republished. I can understand it in an indie published book, but this is kind of aggravating me so much. I can look past some little mistakes, but it's been like 10 or 15 in the entire book, like glaringly obvious. There's another mistake. Am I too overly critical? Can you tell me in the comments if this is something that bothers you as much as it bothers me? There's another one. Damn. I mean, yeah, I guess the plot twist surprised me, but it wasn't as I thought it would be, obviously. That's the point of a plot twist, but it didn't really satisfy me, if you know what I mean. I think Ellen Catherine said it very well in Her, because she said that typically when you have a great plot twist, you look back on the book and you can see all the little hints and you go like, yeah, that makes sense. All of this makes sense. I can't believe how I didn't see this before. But this kind of just feels like it was put in as an, oh wow, plot twist effect. Also, I'm still angry at the amount of typos and mistakes in this book. Like, what is it about books nowadays? For some reason, maybe I remember it wrong, but I feel like there didn't used to be so many mistakes in books. I can see past a couple mistakes. I could see past mistakes in an indie published book because obviously those authors published it themselves. They probably didn't have as many editors, if even one editor, look over the book. But this is a fully published, republished book. And I feel like someone should have looked over this, right? And this is kind of one of the things that makes me the most angry right now. And I'm not sure if it's just the Fairy Loot version or if it's the normal republished version as well. Because this is just annoying me right now, to be honest. What are like final thoughts? I wish the plot twist had some foreshadowing. I did like the idea of the plot twist. I loved the idea of the plot twist. But I feel like it wasn't executed very well because a plot twist isn't supposed to just shock you for no reason, but you're supposed to get like little hints of it. And I feel like there weren't any. My favorite part of the book was what I think I said in a previous. My favorite part of the book was when they were stuck on the boat and had no one but themselves as company. That was my favorite part of the book. And it just all went downhill from there again. I had a great time reading, but I feel like as soon as we went on land, I wasn't so happy with the way their relationship progressed. I hated their relationship in the last bit of the book. Obviously, I hope this isn't a spoiler, obviously they have feelings for each other and have admitted them to each other at some point. But Eckhart just keeps lying to her or like omitting the truth. And I feel like if you love someone, you wouldn't do that. So it kind of made the relationship a little more unbelievable. And I just hated the way that he handled the conflict, like getting angry at her in return and not really understanding what her point was. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I would love this a lot more than I did. I don't know. I feel like I would put this at a 3.75 stars. But I'm really excited for the second book though. But I think this could have been way better. And this is really disappointing because I did enjoy my time. Not to say that it's a bad book. 3.75 is still a great rating. It's just that the typos really annoyed me. I didn't really like their relationship towards the end of the book anymore. Yeah, I feel like the plot twist was put in just for the plot twist's sake and nothing more. And that is kind of like the main issues that I have with this book. Otherwise, I liked it. I also liked the writing. One thing I will say that I really, really didn't like about this book is the use of modern language. Like, what was it? There were some phrases, like modern phrases. Someone said like, "Are you for real?" or something like that. And I don't think that belongs in a fantasy book, in a medieval type of setting. I know that in fantasy you can do basically whatever you want, but it just ripped me out of the story a little bit. Every time it happened quite a few times, not really frequently, but quite a few times. And I just feel like it ripped me out of the story and the setting a lot. So that was another thing that kind of annoyed me. But as I said, again, overall, still a good book. I would still recommend it. I'm left a little bit torn after finishing this. This just came in the mail, and I think I have no other choice than to abandon everything else and read this. This is the Fable Book Club pick for the month, or like for half the month actually, because the book club is reading Brimstone like next week. And this came, and I still feel like fall time. I'm already missing the cozy fall time. So I don't care that it's November. I don't care. I'm going to be continuing to read all the cozy fall books. We could say fall is a state of mind. That was so corny. Anyway, fall is a state of mind. I want to feel cozy. I want to read about witches all year long. So I will. And I have no idea what this is about. Witches and revenge. So there's like 2 or 3 witches that get scorned by this guy or something. And they hate this dude, and so they want to make his life hell and plot some revenge against him. And that sounds so cool. Set in a witchy, cozy, small town. And I don't even care. I'm going to read this immediately. Let's cozy up on the couch and read this. I'm gonna be so honest, I had no idea that this was a sapphic book. I just saw that the book club picked this. I thought it looked great. I didn't read anything about it. And when it came, I just read like the first few sentences just to know what it's about. It stops. There's a break. And I just didn't read the second paragraph. I didn't read that. I'm still loving it. This is great. So I'm about halfway through this book already, and I'm loving the dynamic between all 3 of the female main characters. And I love the plot of the tournament. That is so fun to read. The magical tournament, which is basically like 3 trials in the different ways that you can use magic, like strength and speed and something else as well. I'm loving them so much. And Talia and Emmy have the cutest relationship and the best tension. So Emmy has had a crush on Talia already, like back in school 10 years ago. And she always thought like, Talia is way too cool for me. She will never like me. I'm just this, kind of nerd, whatever. And then we slowly get to see that Talia has noticed her in school back then as well. And they've kind of always had this mutual liking each other, but never really voicing any of it. Gareth Blackmore is such an ass. I hope he deserves everything that's coming to him. It's really interesting. I'm really loving it. It's totally cozy and so nice. I'm really glad that this was the book club pick for the month. I'm really enjoying this. And I don't think I have any more to say. I will be finishing this tonight. This is so quick and easy to read, and it only has 310 pages, so that should be doable. That should be totally doable tonight. And then I will probably check in with you tomorrow again and tell you my thoughts about this book when I have finished it. Okay, I already finished Payback's a Witch. This was so quick and easy to read. It took me like 310 pages. English isn't my first language, so I read a bit slower in English. I think it took me like 4 hours to get through this, which is still incredibly quick, I think. I really, really loved it. I think I said in my last check-in how much I loved it. But the third act conflict, third act breakup didn't really do it for me. The reason they were fighting was really annoying to me because none of them were willing to compromise, which I think is terrible. When you're in a relationship, one of you should be willing to compromise, and you can't expect the other to give up everything so you get your wish. Like, none of them. That was so unfair by both of them. And that really irked me because they got so angry at each other for nothing. Well, not for nothing. Like, they both had their reasons, which I can kind of understand. But to me, one of the main characters' reasons was a little more valid than the other. And it is our main character's reasons whose head we're in. I thought that her reason was a bit more valid. But they got so angry and so mean at each other. And I was like, you two are supposed to love each other. This is like the grand finale of the Payback thing as well. And it would have been fine, but I think we got a resolution right around the 300 page mark, which is 10 pages before the end. 10 or 20 pages before the end, they were just like, okay, you're right. You know, we need to compromise. Let's do it this way. And everyone's fine with that. Like, really? If it was that easy, why fight in the first place? That was kind of what put me off of this book, is that I really hated the third act breakup. I did love how the trial thing panned out, but it was also a bit obvious maybe. Like, I think from the beginning you have like feeling what's going to happen, and obviously that's what happens. And there was like no surprise in this book, which can be fine, I think. That's not a terrible thing. I still really enjoyed it, but I'm like a cozy fantasy reader, and this wasn't like very high stakes. This was mostly cozy reading and just having fun, which is fine. But I really didn't like the third act breakup, and that kind of put me off of this book so much that I think I'm just going to be giving it a 4-star. Just a flat 4-star, which is still a great book. I loved reading this. This was so much fun to read. I loved all of our characters, except Gareth, of course. As I said before, listening to Nevernight on audio kind of makes me want to read something really easy. So I already have it here because I do have to admit, I already started reading it a little bit. And that is Zodiac Academy Book 3. I didn't really like Book 1. I liked Book 2 much better. I'm liking Book 3 much, much better than I liked the other books. There's something about this. I for sure didn't think that the heirs could be redeemable and that what they did could be excused in any way, shape, or form. I'm still not loving like their relationships with the twins that much. What I'm really loving is Blue and her love interest. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm not sure if it counts as a spoiler. But like Darcy, I think, Blue and her love interest. I am loving them. I think they're so cute. This is reading so quick. I have to say, I didn't read this for a lot of time, but I am like almost halfway through already. I'm currently on page 246, and it took me like 2.5 hours to read this. That is insanely fast for me as a non-native English speaker. That is so fast. And this just feels like reading a reality TV show. And I love it so much. It's purely vibes. Most of the time I'm cringing. This is very cringe, very immature. The way they're speaking is not like 25-year-olds should be speaking in case of the older generation, or even like 18-year-olds should be speaking in real life to any person ever. But it's just so fun. It's definitely a guilty pleasure. It's definitely just a palate cleanser book. I'm just reading this to get my mind free to continue listening to Nevernight. But this is so fun, especially now that the romance has been picking up. We didn't have pretty much any romance, I think, in book 1, and then a teeny tiny bit in book 2. And now we get a little bit more in book 3, but only Darcy's point of view. Like Darcy's romance, much more so than Tori's. I do have to say, I'm on book 3. This is book 3. And I've just now, I think, been able to distinguish the twins from one another. If it said Darcy or Tori at the top, I had no idea which one they were. No idea. It's still so hard for me. I think it was maybe not a very smart choice to give them such similar names. Maybe it's just a me thing. Maybe I'm just stupid. But it's been so difficult to remember who is because their names are so similar. And I just couldn't remember, like, was Darcy the one with the blue tips or was Tori the one with the blue tips? And everything in my mind was just divided into the one without the blue tips and the one with the blue tips, but I couldn't remember their names. And so every time anyone was talking about one of them, I had no idea which one they were, which was really confusing. But I think I got the hang of it now in book 3, like 1,000 pages into the series. And I just ordered the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac series, book 1 and 2, because I looked at the reading order and someone said that like the emotional impact reading order would be to read the first 3 Zodiac Academy books, then all of the 5 Ruthless Boys of Zodiac books, and then continue with book 4 to however many books there are. I have no idea, to be quite honest. And I'm really enjoying this. I love having books like this as a palate cleanser in between higher fantasy books or more difficult to read fantasy books. It's just so much fun. I love this. And I'm not sure how much time I'll have today. I've got like an appointment in uni and I have no idea how long that is actually going to take. So no idea how much reading I'll get done. But I'm hoping I won't be too late so I can actually maybe finish this today. And I feel like maybe I should read them quicker because I'm also terrified of these covers not being available anymore. Not because I think they're prettier than the other ones. I think the other ones are prettier. But I've started buying these and it's happened so often now that when they were republished, the covers changed and then you couldn't get your hands on the old ones anymore. I still can't get my hands on the 4th book of the An Ember in the Ashes series. And it's aggravating to me. So I would really hope that I can get all of these books in the old print. But I really don't want to, I don't know, are there 13 books? I really don't want to have to buy 10 more books, like right now. Like maybe something happens in the middle of the series that makes me hate it. I was kind of trying to split them up and like just buy the new book when it's its turn to be read. I'll see. Maybe I can buy some secondhand. We'll see. Yeah, but I'm really liking this so far and I feel like I've been talking for way too long. So I'll be going to get ready for university now and then I'll read some more when I come back and then I'll give you my thoughts probably when either when something outrageous happens or when I finish the book. So, see you then. I have a final update on Zodiac Academy. Don't mind me being in my pajamas already. One thing that I absolutely hate about daylight savings is that it gets so dark so early. It is currently 4:30 p.m. and it is already getting dark, so the lighting is terrible. I apologize, but I wanted to give you a final update on Zodiac Academy. I finished this last night and I love this. I really love this. It feels kind of weird to give this a 4.25 star rating, which I did, because that's like the same rating as some of my other books, which are way better written and way better plotted. But this is just silly, goofy, just a fun time. And I feel like it doesn't try to be something else than it is. So I feel like I'll give this a 4.25 star. I don't care. I loved it. I know that it's bad. I know that it's a terrible book, objectively, comparing it to some other books. The writing style is not that great, but I feel like that's done on purpose, and that's why this is good. It is almost absurd how incredibly silly this is. But it was so much fun. I devoured this. This is 600... How many pages does this have? This is 640 pages, roughly, and I read this in 2 days. Not even. I sat down for 2 days and I read this, I think, and that's it. I finished this. I devoured this. This was so much fun. And sometimes it's just a great palate cleanser book. So now I gotta read all 5 of the Ruthless Boys books, and then I can continue with Zodiac Academy 4, which is terrible because what a cliffhanger. There's like one thing that I don't particularly like in this book, and that is Darius. I mean, I love Darius, don't get me wrong, but I feel like I only love him because we get his point of view. He changes up so fast for almost no reason. Like, how dare he get mad at her when they've done much, much worse things to the twins? And I don't know. I feel like he's got some work to do. If he's supposed to be the love interest, and I feel like he might, I feel like Darius might be endgame, then I feel like he's got his work cut out for him. I love that we get like one twins' progression in the love life situation, and we're not stuck waiting. But this is a slow burn. But I love this. I don't have much else to say. I just love this. This was so much fun. Great palate cleanser book. And I'm really excited to continue the series. It is just so wild. Like, everything that happens in this is so silly and so wild that I can't wait to see what happens in the other books. But that is it for this reading vlog. Do you need a recap? I'll give you a recap. So we read 3 books this week. Metal Slinger, Payback's a Witch, and The Reckoning, which is book 3 in the Zodiac Academy series. I love this. This was a very blue/purple week, if you just look at the covers. But I love this. To recap, I didn't love Metal Slinger as much as I hoped I would, which was a surprise, to be honest. I really enjoyed Payback's a Witch, although the end didn't really sit right with me. And then I loved The Reckoning, which was really fun. I feel like we had a lot of fun books this week. But that is it for this reading vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had as much fun as I did, because I loved it. I love mood reading. I'm a mood reader at heart. And I just sometimes I just want to mood read. So this was TBR Takedown episode 1, mood read with me. I hope you all enjoy your weekend and have a great time. Maybe read some good books. Maybe pick some of these books up. Because all in all, I would still recommend all of these. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.